Okay, so turns out you can't just pause. So this is now part two of video two. So anyway, what we're gonna do now is take our five organisms that we made I guess just wrote out their complete taxonomy for, and we're going to turn that into a framework for those same five organisms. So this was mentioned a little bit in video one. A framework is just a visual representation of how closely related different species are, showing how many levels of taxonomy they share. So again, we'll start with kingdom, work our way down to species. We're gonna have five different species because we have five different critters, five different species. And so we'll just start at the top and work our way down. And then you guys will be doing this with a different set of organisms that I'll talk about in a little bit. So if you look for kingdom, was Animalia for all of them. So there's only one. So I will start my framework by writing Animalia. They all share that kingdom, so that's the only kingdom. And then what you'll do is draw a little line that's going to connect to the next level. So this is going to be the line for kingdom, but there's only one, so that's not really going to matter. You'll see as we go. So phylum, if you look up here, they were all in the phylum Chordata. So we're only going to have one, and it's Chordata. So we're done with that. So now, if we look back up here to our five organisms with the class, there's three of them. So here's where the first curveball is. So we only had one kingdom, we only had one phylum, but now we have three classes. So instead of stacking them, we're going to draw little arms out here. On our for our next level. So for one of them, I'm going to write Mammalia. Doesn't matter which one goes which here. And then for another one, it's going to be Aves. And again, these three, there's no sequence. There's no reason I did it this way. And then the last one, the last class for the brown trout was Actinopterygii. Okay. And so let's start over here on the right with Actinopterygii. Just get that done. The order name was Salmoniformes. There's only one because there's only one fish, so it's the only one that's going to be in this one. So that is the order name. The family name was Salmonidae. And the genus name was Salmo. And the species name was Trutta. And remember what we talked about in video one. When you write the scientific name or binomial nomenclature for each one, it would be capital S for Salmo, and then all lowercase for Trutta, and then you'd underline it. And you're supposed to write with italics, but you can't. I mean, I have a hard time writing with italics. That's not something I'd ever really ask you guys to do. And then below that, if you wanted to write what it is, at least its common name, that was our brown trout. So let's get our only bird out of the way. So for Aves, it's going to be like what we saw with Actinopterygii. It's just going to be a line that goes straight down. So the order name for our cardinal was Passeriformes. The family name was Cardinalidae. And again, all family names end IDAE. You saw that over here also. The genus name was Cardinalis. And the species name was Cardinalis. And if we were going to write, again, our scientific name, capital C, lowercase cardinalis, we underline it, and that's our northern cardinal. Okay, so we've got 3 things left to go. They're all mammals, so all 3, the dog, the human, and the chimp, are all going to be in this section. So because they're all mammals, they all share this category, and so you could obviously assume or think that the 3 different mammals are going to be more closely related to each other than they would be to a bird or a fish. And again, it doesn't matter which one we do first here. So our next level is going to be order, and we have 2 different orders. So the dog was carnivora, and then the human and the chimp were primates. So let's finish up with the dog first. So carnivora was the order name. The family name then was Canidae. The genus name was Canis. The species name was Lupus. And if we're going to do that subspecies, that quote-unquote 8th level, that would be Familiaris. And so to write that one out, it would be L for Lupus, or sorry, C for Canis, then you write out Lupus, then you write out Familiaris. And then we'd underline it, and then we're just going to write domestic dog. And that would be it for that one. So we have 2 more to go, the human and the chimp. So we're still in the order primates. The family name for both was Hominidae. And the genus was different, so we have to have another split here. For the chimp, it was Pan. And for humans, it was Homo. The chimp species name was Troglodytes. And the human was Sapiens. So again, if we're going to write those out, it'd be capital P, Troglodytes, all lowercase on the species name. Then we underlined it. And that's our chimpanzee. And then for the humans, it'd be H. sapiens. And that's a human. So you guys can see kind of, I just took the material that we wrote down in video, or part 1 of the second video, and then I just made it into, this is what we're calling a framework. So it's just like a taxonomic chart that shows the similarities. So of our 5 things, and you probably knew this before we started, the chimp and the human are the most closely related of these 5 species. They share the most levels. They share all the way down to the family Hominidae. And then, so any of the 3 mammals and the bird and the trout are all about equally unrelated. They don't share any groups until you get way back there to phylum. So again, it shows you how closely related different species are, or how distantly they are related to one another. So you guys will find in the email I sent out this piece of paper. You don't need to pause the screen or anything to look at it. Like I said, it's in the email as a link. So what I want you guys to do, I've given you the scientific names. So these are the genus names, and then these are the species names. They shouldn't be misspelled. I double checked, but I know how to spell them. I don't necessarily guarantee I could type them correctly, but I checked them. They should be good. What I want you guys to do is take these 20 amphibians and make your own framework for them. So they're all amphibians, so they're all in the class Amphibia. So kingdom, phylum, and class are all going to be the same. And I've already written out the genus and the species for all of them. But I want you guys to make a bit. So this framework was only 5 species. The one you guys are going to make is going to be 20. If that feels like a lot, if you guys were in school like normal, this would actually be a test where you'd have to do all this by memory. So in comparison, creating this should be really not that big of a task. So I want you guys to put that together. Probably the best way then to turn that into me would be to take a picture of it. Just make sure I can actually read the picture. You'll have to do 2 pictures depending on how big left to right you have to make it. As you guys can see, I used two pieces of notebook paper here for mine, but I was writing with a Sharpie. It was kind of a bigger writing. So that's what I want you guys to do. You'll start with Animalia, and then Chordata, and then Amphibia will be your class. And then you're going to have to Google. I would just recommend Wikipedia. If you guys don't like Wikipedia, that's okay. Nobody's getting on and messing with the scientific names for amphibians on Wikipedia. And just fill out, then you'll have to look up the order, the family, and then the genus and species will be listed. And it should look like this. You guys will be able to figure out which ones are more closely related to each other, which of these amphibians, and then which ones are not. I'll post a couple of videos showing you guys chunks of these, just little pieces of it on how I would do it, how I would set it up, and that will help you guys out with parts of it, but I won't do the whole thing. I'll just do little parts so that maybe that'll help you guys. So that's the assignment, and we'll see ya.